In this video I will discuss how to check for a faulty injector if you have a misfire code. Now for this first test, you're going to do an ohm test. So you'll need a multimeter that measures in ohms. You could pick one up fairly cheap at AutoZone or Radio Shack, Home Depot. All you need is one that measures ohms. That's all you need, 10, 20 bucks. That's all you're going to spend. Go to your injectors. You unclip, the clip comes from the harness to the injector. You unclip that. You can see two tabs in there. Now what you're testing is, one tab goes inside to a coil, and that coil comes back to another tab, to the other tab. Now what happens is, once this gets pulsed, that coil turns into a magnet and pulls the injector open, and it fires out the gas. Then then when it's unpulsed, it closes the injector. So you basically you're checking the continuity, make sure that coil is fine, nothing's broken in it or shorted out, anything like that. So first thing you do is ohm scale, like I said. You get your leads, and it doesn't matter where you connect them to which tab, as long as you connect one to each tab. And make sure when you do this that you do not touch the two leads together, or else you're going to get a false reading. Now let me do this real quick. Here I get a 15.7, and that's to spec. Make sure the reading steadies out too when you read it. Now, injectors ohm typically from 10 to 18 ohms. And make sure you check your manufacturer's spec to see what they should be at. If you do not know your specs, typically if you measure the ohms of a couple of injectors, they should be within 2 ohms of each other. If you see a zero when you ohm it, that's also short, that's bad. Or if you see an open circuit like this, that's also bad. Another way to test the injector, if you don't have a multimeter, to see if it's getting pulsed, is grab a screwdriver. If it's tucked away underneath somewhere in the injector, grab a long screwdriver. You put the screwdriver tip on the injector body itself over here and listen to it. You should hear it tapping. That means the injector is being fired. That's good. Another way to do this test, without a multimeter and without any fancy equipment. Say you went to AutoZone or somebody who does also diagnostic testing for free, and they tell you cylinder 1 has a misfire. What you do is, you grab the cylinder 1 injector, you swap it out with, let's say, number 2 injector, the number 2 cylinder injector. Once you do that, you reset the code. Typically, if you take the negative battery terminal off the car for 5 minutes, it normally resets the computer, and you could start from scratch. Now, if you cannot reset it like that, make sure you can also research it online to see how to reset it for your own specific car. There's always tricks for each car. Now, once you reset it, then you drive the car around from 50 to 100 miles, let's say. You go on a highway. Then once you see the check engine light come back on, go back to AutoZone or whoever can read the code for free. And if this time the faulty code is in cylinder 2 instead of cylinder 1, that means your injector is bad. It either has a slight leak to it, which is very hard to diagnose, and you cannot diagnose that by ohming it, or it's clogged, in which also is another case where you cannot diagnose it by ohming it. Or whatever the case is, it's not firing, whatever it is. That'll tell you exactly that this is the issue. So, I hope I saved you guys money, and please subscribe to this clown's videos. I will save you more money. Thanks for watching. Take care.